Hello Internet, my name is Mark. I work here at Company 23 and I'm here to introduce our new line of wrist pin pullers. We have 2 base kits available as well as 4 different wedges that will accommodate basically every EJ 25, 207, 205 wrist pin that we're aware of. These tools are utilized for physically removing the wrist pin through the access hole on your short block. So I'm here to talk about our kits and give you some tips and tricks about how to actually use the tool. So starting off, we have 2 different base kits. We have part number 599 and 598. 598 is specifically for the EJ25 OEM wrist pin with the accommodating wedge, or a various line of aftermarket wrist pins that are commonly found in EJ25s. We do have a full application guide on our website if you're curious about what fits with what. The second base kit we have is part number 599. It's specifically for the EJ205, 207 wrist pins, which have tapers on the end of them, as well as the more high horsepower applications, things over 1,000 horsepower, which have really small internal diameter wrist pins. So starting off, I'm gonna show you how to assemble a kit. We are gonna be using the EJ25 OEM wrist pin. So what we're gonna need is a 2.5mm Allen key. We have our base kit, part number 598, and then we have the wedge number 594. These are sold separately, so if you wanna buy just a base kit with one wedge or a base kit with both wedges, you can do that very easily. Another nice aspect we built into the tool is some matching shapes on here, so it's really easy to tell if you have all these kits in your toolbox, what goes with what. So we have the filled in black squares go together, and then on the other kits, we have the black circles. These would go together. It makes them really easy to identify in your toolbox. If you have all these laid out, grab them quickly, put the kit together, and be on with life. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our base kit here, part number 598. It comes with a wedge mount, slide hammer, and main shaft. I'm gonna put my slide hammer onto my main shaft, put the wedge mount onto the unit, and then I'm gonna take my wedge for the EJ25 OEM wrist pin. We need wedge part number 594. I'm gonna insert this into the wedge mount, put the bolt into the tool, tighten it down, and we're ready to go to work. So, how this tool works is that we have a wrist pin in the engine. Our tool is actually gonna go into the wrist pin. And if you see on the end of here, we have some geometry in here that goes between the tangs of the actual wrist pin clip. This is gonna go into the wrist pin, grab onto the back side. We're gonna push the wedge into the wrist pin, tap it into the wrist pin so that it doesn't come out when we pull it. And then we're able to slide hammer it out very easily through the access window. Then to remove the wrist pin from the tool, we simply bump it on a firm surface, it comes right off. So now we're actually gonna go over here to our EJ257 short block, actually pull out a wrist pin. So what we're gonna do is this feature on the end of our wrist pin puller, we're gonna align between the tangs of the wrist pin circlip, put it in there. You'll actually feel it engage into the back of the wrist pin. I'm going to push my wedge into position. I'm gonna tap that in, and then I'm just gonna slide hammer it a couple times, and the wrist pin comes right out. And then I go over here to my firm surface, pop it down, wrist pin's off. So some other fun features about this tool that I wanna touch on. This is manufactured from an extremely high grade steel that has been heat treated. Both the main shaft as well as the wedges are comprised of that material. They're extremely durable. They're gonna last for years and years of use. We've tested this in numerous different ways that we can't advise as per normal use cases, and it's performed extremely well. This tool is also much more compact than the prehistoric OEM tool. And why we did that is on our Company 23 engine stand, this actually fits extremely nicely on all 4 wrist pin bores. So even on the engine stand, you're able to pull out cylinder 3's wrist pin while it's on the engine stand. It fits right on there, it comes right out. So that's part of the reason we have this much more compact design. So if you're interested in one of the brand new Company 23 EJ wrist pin pullers, these are available now on our website. They're in stock. We ship daily from our central Wisconsin headquarters. So head over to our website, www.company23.com today, and grab one for your build.